Today I'm going to share with you how to make chicharrones. We're going to begin by adding water to a cazo. To that we're going to add half an onion, 1 head of garlic, and salt. Make sure you use a good amount. Now we're just going to bring our water to a boil. Okay, so once the water comes to a boil, we're going to add our strips of pork belly. I cut mine in half, but of course you can always leave them nice and long. One thing to make sure is that your pork belly has the skin. So we're just going to throw them all in. After 5 minutes, we're going to remove the impurities from our pork belly. Okay, so now we're going to add 4 bay leaves and peppercorns. And we're just going to allow this to cook for another 20 minutes, and then we can remove it from the pot. Okay, and after the total of 25 minutes, we're going to remove our pork belly from the broth. I'm going to be placing it on a kitchen towel because we want them to be nice and dry. And as for the broth, we're going to remove it. You can always strain it and save it for the next time you make tamales. Just be very careful when you get rid of it. So we're just going to pat dry our pork belly. Make sure that it is completely dry before we move on to the next step. Okay, so once we get rid of the broth, we're going to add our lard. And you just want enough lard to cover the pork belly. And now we're just going to allow it to melt. And we want our lard to be at 200 degrees. Okay guys, so once our lard has melted and we have our lard set to 200 degrees over medium-low heat, now we can get ready to add our pork bellies back in and just make sure that they are dry. Okay, so now we're just going to allow our pork belly to cook in the lard for 1 hour. Make sure that you're moving them constantly around so they don't stick to the bottom of the pot. Alrighty guys, so after 1 hour, our pork belly has now turned into chicharrones, and this is what they should look like. So now we're just going to remove them from the lard. Okay, I'm going to place them in paper. Alrighty, so now we're just going to allow our lard to get nice and hot. Okay, so once our lard is nice and hot, we're going to return our chicharrones back in. And we're going to be frying them for about 5 minutes. Make sure that you're constantly moving them around. And this is what you want your chicharrones to look like. And now we're just going to remove them from the lard. And just like that, we have our chicharrones.